example of the spread of chikungunya virus in Southern America, first in Caribbean and then all over Southern America, including Central America, and also the recent introduction and spread of Zika virus. And Zika virus is interesting for Uganda because its name comes from the Zika forest close to Entebbe. It's a virus discovered first in Uganda, transmitted by Aedes mosquitoes, and now this virus is expanding in Brazil, in Colombia, and for sure it will follow the same way that chikungunya, and probably it will expand to all the Latin America. The altitudinal limit of Anopheles gambier is higher now than before, and we have also a good example in terms of extreme weather events of the impact of El Niño and Rift Valley fever amplification and spread in the Horn of Africa. You know that this year we expect RVF outbreak in the Horn of Africa was in 2006-2007. We have and so in terms of herd immunity and also the climatic condition, the risk of RVF outbreak this year, at the end of this year, is really important. And be sure that all the med and vet people in several countries in Kenya and Tanzania are on alert. Definitively, we need an integrated approach, a systemic, transdisciplinary, intersectoral, and in partnership with stakeholders and in particular with the community. In terms of transdisciplinarity for research activity on vector-borne diseases, I list here a lot of discipline. It's really a challenge at the end to integrate, to conduct a transdisciplinary work when you are in the field, but it's really important to integrate all the activities, but also all the data at the end. To show you some example of some let's say big initiative support by IDRC on vector-borne diseases in the past using NECOS approach. The first one, it was an integrated research partnership for malaria control in Africa, focused on the impact of irrigated agriculture on malaria. The second one, it's a large initiative to control urban dengue in Asia. Just to give you some words on an ongoing initiative on vector-borne diseases in Africa, it's done also in partnership with TDR, and its two main objectives. It is to assess through EcoHealth approach, innovative, multidisciplinary and multisectoral research, the impact of social, environmental and climatic change on vector-borne diseases in dryland areas. And to develop, the second objective is to develop together with the community adaptation strategy to reduce their vulnerability. So we are just here, the 5 projects selected, just to tell you that the vector-borne covered are malaria, schistosomiasis, trips and Rift Valley fever. In South Africa, Kenya, Tanzania and Ivory Coast. It's really multi-centric research projects, and we have here some picture of this project in the field, in the dry areas of Kavango Delta, of the Maasai steppe region, of the Serengeti here, and also in West Africa, in Congo, Ivory Coast, and Kaidi, Mauritania. So the partnership of this initiative, quickly, with not only with TDR and IDRC, but also we have several partners, and for example, the IRI at Columbia University, a strong research team on climate change and vector-borne diseases. We hope to achieve, let's say, an elucidation of the ongoing environmental, socio-economic climate change on the population health vulnerability, also to assess how environmental, socio-economic and climate change affect transmission dynamic of vector-borne diseases, develop community-based adaptation strategy, and also it's really important for us to develop and strengthen research capacity in the source, not only among research groups, but also for the community. So in conclusion, I hope that you are convinced that the response to development and health challenges require a more integrated thinking, such as the eco-health and One Health approach. Also that the integrated prevention control response to vector-borne diseases require interventions that relate social, economical systems and needs to involve all the stakeholders, in particular the community. And also we have strong evidence that, that an integrated approach, a systemic approach, can have a great potential for impact on control and prevention against vector-borne diseases. But this has to be used complementary to health sector intervention and also incorporation of scientific advances such as new vaccines and innovative vector controls. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Balde. Dr. Balde, you talked about climate change, you talked about movement. If you were forced to say which one of those do you think has the greatest impact, what would you say in changing what we see with vector-borne diseases?
It's an interesting question. From my own experience, I think that human activities are the main drivers of this emerging and re-emerging vector-borne diseases, and the climate change is a synergist of this. I don't think that the climate change is for the moment is the main driver of the human activities, deforestation, globalization, and unfortunately and change of the environment. Unfortunately, the main driver of this.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your presentation.